Hi everybody, my name is Robin Dolezal. This is Alex Pars. We are with Ironwood Financial. Welcome back to our series of how to find the best financial advisor for you. Today we're going to talk about the most important and top questions to ask a financial advisor that you're sitting with. So Alex, kick us off. What are some of the most important questions someone should sit down and ask an advisor?
In my opinion, the number one most important question to ask your financial advisor is, how do you get paid? Okay, the reason this question is so important is because of a lot of regulatory nuances. So basically, the answer to this question will tell you whether they are a fiduciary or whether they're a commissioned salesperson. Okay, the difference again is if for a fiduciary, they have to have your best interest at heart. For a commissioned salesperson, they don't necessarily have to have your best interest at heart unless they took a separate fiduciary oath. So again, that question by itself is so important. Number one.
And if you only get to ask one, that would be it.
Absolutely. Okay. Another great question to ask is, are you an independent firm or are you a captive firm? What that means is, do you have quotas? Do you have products that you need to recommend to a client? You would be absolutely amazed if you looked into the depths of the quagmire that is financial advising to see how often it is that financial advisors are told you need to move a certain amount of this product every month, and they start recommending that to every client they sit down with. You need to know that before you sit down with somebody.
Right.
Okay. Another slightly less important but also important question is custody. Okay, custody of assets becomes a problem in the Bernie Madoff scenario.
Right.
Okay, that was obviously horrific for anybody who invested with him. You want to know before you invest with a firm, where will your money actually be kept? Who's generating the statements? We want to make sure that we don't see, a common scam where people pretty much write up their own statements. Again, that's what happened in the Bernie Madoff scenario. So be very careful that you understand who's custodying the assets, and it's a big name that you know and trust, like Fidelity, for example, or Vanguard, or Pershing, something like that.
If you're depositing money, you are not writing a check out to that advisor or that advisor's firm.
That's a great example. Somebody writes a check to Ironwood Financial, that check gets deposited in the Ironwood Financial account. That's not what you want.
Right.
You want to write your check out to the custody agent, which would be, in our case, Charles Schwab or Fidelity. Okay? Then you know that money's going into your account, not someone's pockets. Another great quick question when you're doing your first initial interview with an advisor is product mix. What do these people recommend? You don't want to sit through an hour and a half of, explanations and sales pitch just to find out that they recommend only products that you hate. Okay? So find out, are they annuity people? Do they work with stocks and bonds, separately managed accounts, mutual funds, ETFs, you name it. Figure out what they recommend before you sit down with them and waste a bunch of time to make sure that you're compatible and that you understand what those products are and some of their upsides and downsides. Okay? And then finally, probably the last thing that we see most people don't understand is the after the sales service, if you will, which is, you ever find out you go buy a car and then you take it back to the service department and they don't even care about you. You want to make sure that's not the case with your financial advisor because, in our opinion, financial advising is not a one and done scenario. You want to have a relationship with this person who's watching your back, watching your accounts for the rest of your life or until you retire or whatever happens to be your goal. So make sure that you understand the servicing model, how often you expect to hear from them, is that service included, and so on and so forth. Those are some top questions that you need to ask before you hire or sit down with a financial advisor.
Make sure you ask all of them, and don't worry if it takes you an hour or two. They've got the time. That's what they're there to do, is answer those questions.
And if they can't answer one of those questions clearly in a manner you can understand, I would be wary.
Right. So, for other topics, watch our series on how to find the best financial advisor for you. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Take care.